Hi, my name is Ashley Share with the Share Institute Inc., ShareLove.Fund, and we are going to explore Book 2, Sutra number 5, 2.5 of the Yoga Sutras by Patanjali. This sutra translated into English is, ignorance is regarding the impermanent as permanent, the impure as pure, the painful as pleasant, and the non-self as the self. So again, that's ignorance is regarding the impermanent as permanent, the impure as pure, the painful as pleasant, and the non-self as self. So essentially this is saying being ignorant is getting all mixed up and mistaking opposites for each other. So, that's a pretty obvious and broad statement. How is that applied to yoga? Well, the modern day gurus have interpreted this ancient text as follows, and I will explore that with you. And this is not the viewpoint of ShareLove.Fund necessarily. This is just a critical thinking exercise to review ancient texts and to analyze what the gurus have said about it. So, according to the gurus, now Patanjali explains what ignorance is. If I show you a nice piece of fruit that you have never seen before, you will say, I'm completely ignorant of this. I don't know what it is. That is just normal ignorance, not knowing something. What Patanjali speaks of in this sutra is something different. He mentions the basic ignorance regarding the non-self as the self. What is the self? What is the non-self? The self is the eternal, never-changing one. It is always everywhere as the very basic substance. Again, this is not the views of ShareLove.Fund. This is just how the modern day yoga gurus interpret this text. I'll continue. All things are actually nothing but the self, but in our ignorance, we see them as different objects. Thus, we take the changing appearances to be the unchanging truth. When something changes, it can't be the self. For example, our own bodies are changing every second. Yet we take the body to be ourself. And speaking in terms of it, we say, I am hungry, or I am physically changed, or I have brown hair, and so forth. These are all just conditions and qualities of the body. We touch the truth when we say, my body aches, implying that the body belongs to us and that, therefore, we are not that. Unfortunately, we often add, I am very, very sick. Who is actually sick? If the body aches, then the body is sick, not you. Whenever we may forget this truth, we are involved in the non-self, the basic ignorance. This is an interesting concept in yoga because yoga views our own physical bodies as material attachment. And you can see this sort of manifest in different ways, like the principle of, in modern Western culture, we talk about the principle of vanity and not to be vain. And in yoga, there's discussion of the physical body as not being part of our purest essence, and an attachment to that may hold us back. I'll continue with the yoga gurus analysis. We make the same ignorant mistake in regarding the mind, saying, I am happy or I am ignorant. Feeling happy, fearful, or angry, or knowing a lot or knowing nothing are all modifications or feelings of the mind. Once that is understood, There is nothing that can disturb us in this world. Things will come and go away from us, but we will know that we are not connected with them. We'll feel unattached. We will know that we are not that. Under all conditions, we can sing, knowledge bliss, bliss is absolute. And in all conditions, I am knowledge, bliss is absolute. Well, who is practicing yoga then? Who meditates? It's the mind along with the body. You need not only to do any practice. When you fully realize this, it becomes an ignorant business. But for now, we can get rid of ignorance with ignorance. Take a better ignorance to get rid of a worse one. In the final analysis, only the light of understanding will remove the darkness of ignorance. I do want to pause and say that Martin Luther King did study yoga, and you can sort of see some traces of it in his quote about only light drives out darkness. And in the yoga text, it also talks about understanding and bringing in light removes darkness. So it's kind of cool to see some literary themes pass through the generations in this way. Okay, going back to the yoga gurus. There is a story in yogic scriptures that illustrates this. Once a man walked into a backyard of his house during twilight. All of a sudden, in a dark corner, he saw a coiled snake. Frightened, he yelled, "Snake, snake!" His voice roused a number of people who came running with sticks. His voice, in response to his voice, they advanced slowly toward the corner, and one bold fellow with a particularly long stick gave the snake a hard blow. Nothing happened. Suddenly, an old man arrived with a lantern. He brought the lantern near the corner where the snake was. The light revealed nothing but a coiled rope. The old man laughed. "Look at all you blind people, groping in darkness. There's nothing but a rope there, and you took it for a snake. In order to understand the rope as rope, a light was necessary. We too need a light, the light of wisdom. With such a light, the world is no longer a world, and all the qualities we call the non-self appear in true nature." We can use this analogy to understand another point also. Twilight is the most dangerous time. Why? Because in total darkness, neither a rope nor a snake could be seen. In broad daylight, the rope could obviously be a rope. Only in the dull light could a man mistake a rope for a snake. If you are completely ignorant, groping in darkness, you will not even see the rope, the pains of this world, and want to understand the truth. So yoga is neither for a person who has gained the light, nor for the totally ignorant person who doesn't bother to know anything. It is for the person in between. It is to dispel this ignorance that yoga is practiced. So what yoga means to you is your choice, but I love the concept of thinking about twilight and thinking about how we have to be careful about distortion, and like the modern day saying, a little bit of information is a dangerous thing. And this is something that we can think about in our daily lives and how to apply it. Thank you for your time. Namaste.